Hello YouTube, my name's Tag, and welcome back to Gyakuten Live. So, in the last video, we basically started episode 2, and what happened was, a bunch of VIP tickets were printed, but illegally, so they wouldn't have been allowed if they were used. But we don't know who did that. We have a person that we think did it, but I don't think they actually did it. And so we had to go look for a bunch of clues, and now we found all the clues we can find, and now it's time for the trial and stuff. So without further ado, let's just continue the game and see if we can find the truth. Okay. Trial time! Time for trial. I really hope. It's been a while since I played. It's been a couple of days since I last played, so I hope I can remember majority of the things that happened. All I can recall is that we found out that the printer is a bit quirky and it has a little something wrong with a notch or something. We are going against Dia Kurosawa. I know that. She's the attorney, the prosecutor. There we go. That's the term. And then I don't know. I don't know who did it. I have a feeling. I have a hunch. I know, but I haven't seen the character yet, so I don't even think it's correct. I'm just thinking I'm pulling strands. I'm just pulling loose strings. But well, as always, we'll see. We'll figure out the truth. I just need to make sure that I can see through the lies. Alright. Okay. May 13th, 11:40. Defendant lobby. Okay, use being silent. It's been 2 months since I was last here on a trial, but it feels like it's been only a few days. I don't think I'll ever get used to this feeling of dread. My opponent being Dia-san doesn't make things any easier for me. This will certainly be my toughest challenge yet. Why so glum, chum? This should be a fun, jolly game of court, right? Even though this isn't a real trial, I can't be slacking. These trials get broadcast for the world to see. I've got to at least try to show that Nijigasaki can stand up to Hoshi. Depress you. That's what Shota-san always tells me to do before a photo shoot. Come on, Yu-chan. You've got this. You're gonna put Dia-san in her place today. I don't know if... Repeat after me. I, Takasaki Yu, shall overcome all opposition in court today. Shall overcome... I can't do it. No good? Shucks. It's fine. I thank you for the encouragement. Oh, I know. I'll hold your hand during trial so you won't be afraid. Appreciate it, but not necessary. That said, I do have a nagging desire to find the truth. Don't worry, me too. I also want to find out the truth. Who really printed those tickets? What did they want with them? Where are the tickets now? And why did they make it look like Karen-san did it? If nothing, this drive is one of the things that keeps me going. Yes, that's it. This is what I'm aiming for. Gotta find out the truth. Gotta find out who did this. May 13th, 12 PM, Court 2. Order. Court is now in session for the trial of Asaka Karen. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution? Are you prepared to present your opening statement? Nijigasaki, Otonokizaka, Urunahoshi. There can only be one. The pinnacle is not a position that can be shared. Oh, here we go. Of course I'm prepared. That isn't even a question. The better question is, how long can you, Takasaki Yu-san, manage to stay in the game before collapsing like a house of cards? I think my eardrums will collapse in on themselves with listening to you before everything else. Well, whenever you're ready, prosecution, the stage is yours. Certainly. It's time for the beginning of the end, my dear gallery. I regret to inform you, but today, your precious Nijigasaki of 6,102 students shall now bow before Urunahoshi, which has fewer than 100, that much is certain. Today, I will prove not only that the defendant Karen Asaka is guilty of this crime, but also the veracity of quality over quantity. Just give the damn opening statement already. The incident occurred on May 11th, during the Nijigasaki School Idol Club practice session. There was a break that lasted from 4 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. It is believed that the crime occurred during this time. The suspect, Asaka Karen, is believed to have taken the opportunity to reverse to the printing room to print an unauthorized pair of VIP tickets. And that ridiculously mundane crime is why I'm here today. The prosecution shall prove without a shadow of a doubt that Asaka Karen is the one responsible for this incident. Acknowledged. Are you aware of any possible motives? We have. After a minor background check, it was discovered that the defendant works with two producers for a job. The current belief is that the tickets were printed to be given to them. Wow, Yu-chan, you were right on the money when you said that the prosecution would dig that info up. Rats, and the producers told me that giving them the tickets is a problem not against Karen-san's contract. Prosecution, what evidence do you have that ties the defendant to the crime? Now, I have to give credit where it's due. I didn't find the smoking gun for our case. The former prosecutor with the humorously but delightfully oversized bow in her hair was the one that found it. She must be talking about Shizuka-chan. In that case, the smoking gun is Karen-san's cell phone, right? I think so. Irina-chan did say that the phone was what got Karen-san nabbed. Unfortunately, since our bowhead isn't involved in this case anymore, I shall pass the responsibility of explaining the find to my amusingly yet adorably small detective. Very well. She's wearing the digital mask thing. Usually this is when the prosecution asks the witness's name and occupation. Quiet. He might be able to hear us. Huh? If I remain calm, our detective seems to have been possessed by an evil mechanical menace. You lot call the military. The robot on your face is no match for a tank. Meanwhile, I shall heroically remove the parasitic device using my katana. Minor laceration may result, but it is unavoidable. Oh, don't worry, this is just my Rinatron board. Come again? Rinatron what now? I made it myself. It's a device that helps me show my true feelings, which I'm not very good at, sorry. It's got all these features, but the main thing is a bunch of programmed facial expressions that help everyone to understand my emotions. Don't worry, though, it can't hurt you. I see. I knew I thought the notebook was as peculiar as it could get. Anyway, you were called upon to present the evidence you found. Are you ready? I am. Shall we begin? Okay. Testimony time. An email was sent out on the day of the crime. It said that there were more VIP tickets than available VIP seats. Shizuka-chan was the one who first noticed it. She concluded it meant that someone had printed out VIP tickets without notifying anyone. We managed to narrow down the time of the tickets being printed to between 4 p.m. and 4:30 p.m., which was during the practice break. The defendant's phone was concluded to have been left in that room around the same time the tickets were printed. She must have done so with her ID on her phone. This places the defendant in the printing room at the time of the crime, and since the club member's ID is required to print the tickets, it couldn't have been anyone outside of the club. So, in essence, there are only a handful of people who have the clearance to print VIP tickets. And the only person of the small group that had the opportunity to print the tickets was the defendant. Understood? That's right. Is there anyone else I should go over? Actually, I do have one question. Earlier you said that you narrowed down the time of the crime to between 4 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. How do you know that? It's like this. See, the computer systems don't constantly check whether there are an excess number of tickets. For efficiency, it only checks it every half hour. The emails were sent out at 4:30 on the day of the crime. That means the tickets must have been printed out within that previous half-hour interval. Although, since everyone was just getting back into practice at the time, nobody really noticed that email until Shizuka-chan did the next day. I don't really care enough for that stuff to open that system email. What about you? To be fair, I don't think any of us really paid attention to that email. I'm glad we have someone so on top of things like Shizuka-chan then. Listening to that testimony, it seems sound, but all they provided is circumstantial evidence so far. There are few gaps I can see here. But at the same time, perhaps they're just getting warmed up. The Yasan wouldn't be foolish enough to leave such a void in her case, right? Okay, time to cross-examine. Okay, let's see. Hmm. Wait, let's see how you know the phone was there. And how did you figure that out? I was the one who figured it out. Dio-san did. Dio-san, I'll pass you the mic. All eyes on you. Heh, my friends, nothing a little intuition couldn't solve. Intuition? Allow me to present the defendant's phone. She had misplaced it in the printing room until it was located by the one named Osaka Shizuka-san. Like any self-respecting mobile phone user, the phone has a lock screen. That means we can open our phone to verify most of the things that she was doing with it. However, any notifications she receives are displayed on the lock screen itself for all to see, including the time she received them. The defendant seems to be quite a popular person. She's got a multitude of missed calls and messages from Emma, Shooter-san, I, as well as the emails sent out by the computer systems about the VIP tickets. The earliest notifications were sent to her phone around 4:20 p.m. That means she must have lost her phone in the printing room, or slightly before this time. Hang on a second, that doesn't explain enough. Let's see, even though I'm aware that Karen-san lost her phone in the printing room at the time of the crime, this is where the case has gaps. If there's anything I can object to, it's this. So far, all we've established is that Karen-san had a bunch of unread notifications, and her phone happened to be found in the printing room. But there's the possibility that the defendant simply didn't read the notifications and lost the phone in there after the crime. How do you rule that out? What? Tusk, you must not have a high opinion of me. Let's correct that, shall we? Huh? I wasn't finished. I can think of at least 2 other reasons the phone must have been left there at the time of the crime. 2 more? No interruptions, defense. I'm currently in the middle of raining up on your parade, and I'm about to send you a hurricane. Great. Number 1, the battery level. The battery level? I've researched the make and model of the defendant's cell phone. I know the battery capacity, idle drain rate, and factored in the battery level that phone was at when it was discovered. In addition, among the plethora of notifications we could see on the lock screen was a low battery warning that pops up when a certain percentage of the battery is left, and we have the timestamp on that as well. My calculations indicate that these 4 factors align perfectly if we consider that the phone was never used since the time of the crime. Number 2, the fingerprints on the phone, or lack thereof. You check for fingerprints? I may not have access to any database of fingerprints like your fancy little clubroom door handles, but there's still a few things someone like I can do. Namely, I can tell that the phone was almost completely devoid of fingerprints. And your conclusion from that is? Phones nowadays use touchscreens. You'd have to use your fingers to navigate the menus and whatnot. But during the time of the crime, the defendant was in an idle outfit. An idle outfit includes gloves. That further supports the notion that the defendant had lost her phone in the printing room at the time of the crime. She had gloves on during the interval. With gloves like those, you'd be leaving a negative number of fingerprints, meaning even previous fingerprints could be wiped off. If she still had her phone with her when she left the printing room that day, you would have found fingerprints on it. But since it doesn't, the last time she must have had her phone was during the time and place of the crime. I've given you a total of 3 exhibits now: the notifications, the battery level, and the fingerprints. And I would like to remind the court that the tickets were printed out right around the time the phone was lost, in the printing room. Please draw your own conclusion from that. Great. This woman does not mess around. Oof, that was the roughest beating I've seen since Shioriko-chan took out Nana-san in the elections. And she found all that out without the magic of Fuda. How am I supposed to fight her? Come on, you. Believe in Karen-san. If she was telling the truth, then you have to find a way around this. Oh, man. What is it? But this movie seems to be a bit vague. I can't tell if Rina-chan's having trouble putting their case into words, or if she was perhaps instructed to keep details out until needed. Knowing Dia-san, I can see the latter happening. For now, you should probably try pressing Rina-chan for more information. I feel like there's much more to the story than just this. Okay, so I gotta press her. Okay, let's see. So I pressed on this one. Or if I push her. Let me push on the last thing actually, just out of curiosity. Can you clarify what you mean by that? Let's see. How to put this into words. To print something in the printing room, a student or staff member must use the Nijigasaki Virtual ID, which is an app you can download onto your phone. Without your virtual ID, you won't be able to get any further than turning the printer on. You need it to actually start printing stuff. However, the VIP tickets are special. To print them, your ID needs to match that of a school idol club members. Basically, only our club members can print them. The thing is, all rebel club members were at practice around the time of the crime. There are other printers on campus capable of printing the VIP tickets, but the only one close enough to the practice room that you can make a round trip to within the break time is the one in hallway 306. How big is this damn school? Wasn't the break half an hour long? In a nutshell, all the people who possibly could have committed the crime were conglomerated in and around hallway 306 at the time of the crime. We know that the crime must have happened in the printing room on hallway 306, and the defendant is the only person who appears to have gone to the printing room at that time. It lines up with what we know. I don't think I have any room for argument here. I've heard enough. Oh, come on, I already pushed on two things. The prosecution has started to demonstrate the defendant's role in this incident. I think the truth is becoming increasingly clear. That's it? Lizzie, I thought I told you to give me a good challenge. Alas, you failed me. No matter, this trial will be in my fond memories as the shortest and easiest case I've won. Come on, give me a chance, please. Come on. Hang on, this isn't over yet. Don't be ridiculous. I've left no room for error. If you really want to drag this trial out for a final few precious moments, you'll have to show us why with evidence. Yu-chan, do you really have something up your sleeve? I've got to try. It can't just end like this. Come on, I'm backed into a corner. I've got to turn this around somehow. Defense, if you have any evidence to present, now would be the time. Yes, Your Honor, right away. I don't have to prove Karen's innocent immediately. I just need to cast enough reasonable doubt on the prosecution's claims. Even if it's just to move a goalpost and force the prosecution to prove another thing, it's better than nothing. I've got to reveal the angle that the prosecution hasn't considered. Although the prosecution has proven that my client went to the printing room, this will recontextualize the whole situation. Is it the homework? Do I have to show the homework? Because you went there to print the homework originally. That's what you actually went for. I'm pretty sure it's the homework. I would like the members of the court to look at this. This is the defendant's homework assignment due on the day of the crime. Why do you have that? Are you cheating? Academic disintegrity is grounds for suspension. Please stop talking like Shooter-san. No. My client had intended to try to submit it to her instructor late. And the relevance of this is, the prosecution is claiming that the defendant must have entered the printing room to print the VIP tickets. That's the basis of the entire case right now. But say, there was an alternate explanation. For example, if the defendant went into the printing room to print not the VIP tickets, but instead her homework, then that would perfectly explain why she was in the printing room. And just like that, the case turns in our favor. I don't think so. Well done, Yu-chan. You've managed to escape the pickle battle. I managed to what the what? A meaningless exercise. You realize this changes nothing, correct? But even in printing out the homework makes no difference. It is a totally easy method for her to simply have printed both the tickets and homework in the same visit to the printing room. Ugh, she's not wrong, right? Wait, no, she's wrong. Sorry to say, prosecution, but this is actually changed everything. All you've shown so far was the defendant happened to be present around the place at the time of the crime with no definitive proof. I'd say that there's enough reasonable doubt. If you now want to claim that the defendant printed two sets of items, then it's on you to prove that you actually did so. Take that. Order! Order! Not bad. You managed to see through my bluff. Looks like you have some fight in you after all. Take that, miss. I study the blade. I'm impressed that you managed to find that information. Naturally, I knew about it as well, but I felt it wouldn't matter, as the defendant could easily have printed the tickets and the homework together. But if my task now is to further show how the defendant could have been the only possible culprit, then so be it. We'll start by narrowing the time down. Witness, please testify about the defendant's motions around the time of the crime. Let's do it then. Okay, we passed the first part. Okay, narrowing the time down. According to the club room access records, the defendant went to the club room once at 4:05 and once at 4:20. The defendant needs to get a flash drive or something to print her homework, so you can reasonably deduce that she went into the club room at 4:05 to get it. You can then reasonably deduce that she probably went back to the club room at 4:20 to drop her homework and VIP tickets off. Therefore, she must have gone to the printing room before 4:05 and 4:20. Since the printing room is only a step away from the club room, she most likely was there the whole 15 minutes. And according to the printer records, the printer was only used at 4:10 p.m. and at no other time. Say that again? Printer records? Uh-oh, not this garbage again. That's right. The printer in question has a minor log of when it gets turned on and used. That's all it says though. It doesn't keep track of what gets printed and by whom, which is a good thing. Imagine if someone needed to print a private document. Parents and homework is technically a private document, so that makes sense. Wow, more evidence, thanks. I really needed that at this point. Printer was turned on one time at 10:10 p.m. It shuts off automatically after 1 minute of idle time. One more thing, the printer shuts off by itself after 1 minute of inactivity to save power. That might help us with narrowing the time down. Ugh, another set of access records to ruin my life. I really wish they stopped pulling these out of nowhere. Don't look at me like that, Defense. I didn't think I would need to use this, but it's what I currently have. Unfortunately, the tickets themselves are still missing. Only the true culprit and Kami knows where they are now. So the tickets haven't turned up yet. From my understanding, the tickets themselves have a timestamp on them. If we had them, we'd know the exact time they were printed. However, if they do end up turning up, I have full confidence that the timestamp will corroborate with my current state, my current stance. Well, no need for hypotheticals in this courtroom. We have to make do with what we have. Defense, your cross-examination. Just great. Okay, sorry, we're gonna have to talk. Okay, first thing I want to check is, I actually want to check the printing things since it was added to my evidence. Oh, okay, but I thought maybe it gives me like more information. Okay, I want to double check also the access records just to make double sure. Okay, that's 4, 5, 14. Okay, time to stop placing poor Arena again. Hmm. Hmm. So wait, if you only use the 14, that means it took 5 minutes to get from the club room to the printing room, print them, and then back. 15 entire minutes? What could she have been doing for that long? Don't ask me, ask Carrington herself. Maybe she spent some time figuring the printer out. It's not exactly a simple printer. Most people don't bother using their printer. They think it's too big and unwieldy, and usually use one of the other printers. I definitely need some time to figure out that needlessly complex contraption. What's wrong with the normal printer? In any case, I can't believe that the defendant had trouble using such a convoluted device, don't you think so? 15 whole minutes in that room for that. Somehow, that doesn't sit right with me. Please add this to your testimony, witness. Alrighty. Okay, cool. We got some more information, I guess. What makes you say that? To be honest, I don't think many people usually use that particular printer. They generally stick with one of the smaller, simpler printers. The vinyl feature usually isn't relevant to most people's purposes. Wait! Okay, I think I'm understanding something, because Karen should be able to be used to this because she's printed vinyl. But wait, if I say she's used to that, wouldn't that incriminate her? If this is something, there's a point to this. Wasn't the VIP tickets of vinyl? She had to have used the printer if she printed the ticket. I imagine she wanted to kill two birds with one stone and just print both her homework and the tickets on that one printer. Well, definitely right about Karen's choice of printer. The crease age around her homework proves that she must have used the big white printer with the vinyl tray. I have no clue how to use that big lug of a device either, to be quite honest. Okay. Okay. Don't press. I need to check the code record. Is there a way for me to say, like, oh, she uses it a lot for the vinyl stuff? That's her homework. That's her phone. Is there no way for me to be like, oh, she prints out her thingy? I'm like, oh yeah, she used the map, she doesn't know places, so like she has to go look, and that takes her time to get there. Mm. Okay, what if I point out the printer? Oh, that's actually perfect, thank you. According to the witness and the prosecution, the printer is rarely used much by the most students and may have difficulty with using it. Is that correct? I believe so. That should include Karen-san, I think. Nuh-uh. Sorry, but I have to disagree. Huh? The thing is, the Defender is one of the few people who absolutely is not inexperienced with using this particular printer. Defense, please elaborate for the court. The Defender works as a model for an agency. She frequently partakes in photo shoots for magazines and the such. According to her, she has an affinity for printing out the photo sheets taken of her. She likes keeping a collection, see? As far as photos go, she likes printing them not on paper, but on vinyl. Ah, so what you're saying is... That's right, this is the printer she usually uses to get her photos. It can hardly be said that Karen-san is inexperienced with this printer when she uses it on a regular for her photo printing collection. Stop saying it in Japanese, I don't know. So if you knew how to use the printer, clarify your point with us. You don't see what I'm getting at? I think it's pretty simple. It all has to do with the timing. Since the defendant would not have had difficulty with the printer, there's going to be a lot of time that's not accounted for. If it didn't take Karen-san that long to print her homework, then why was there 15 minutes of time between the two clubroom access record entries? It's enough time for a second person to have come and gone. That's the issue we need to figure out. What? I swear she's just saying random stuff. Wrong. Huh? Desuwa? Wrong. Have you been paying attention to the style at all? The printer records clearly state that the printer was only turned on and used once by one person during the relevant time interval. I say that if had simply spent the 50 minutes goofing around, your theory of a second printer user holds as much water as a thimble. So how do you intend to explain this? Why haven't the printer records turned up anyone else? Well, that's what we are trying to find out. Oh, again, you foolish fool. That's what you're trying to find out. You need to explain this inconsistency since you're the one implying the existence of another printer user in that 15-minute time span. Well, she's not wrong. I had to explain an explanation for this. If the printer was only turned on once, could there still have been a second user? And if so, how? Some of this feels awfully familiar. Well, defense, let's hear your explanation. How could there have been a second printer user if the printer records only logged one entry? Let me look at the... I wish it would give it time for when it was on. No, okay, 14. Could they have used the... I don't think they could have used the familiar printer. But I don't want to say Karen printed the tickets for them, because that's like... basically saying she did the crime. They used the print... They couldn't because the tickets are vinyl. Unless the person who did it doesn't know that tickets are supposed to be vinyl. Wait, actually that's true. There's no way they 3D printed it. They could have 3D printed it. I think they used a different printer. I think I'm looking at this wrong. How could someone else have printed the tickets if the big printer was only used by Karen-san in the relevant time frame? It's simple. The real culprit must have used a different printer around the same time. No. No? The large white printer is the only one in the whole 306 printing room capable of printing vinyl. I trust you expected the room yourself to confirm this, but other printing groups was thinking maybe they used a different printer, like in the room, maybe they used a 3D printer, because they don't know. How are to know that's vinyl? But nothing. We have already established that all other printing rooms are too far away for any of our club members to have reached within the allotted time period. Sorry, Defense, I don't think this line of logic follows. I'll have to penalize you for that. Ugh. Think it through, Defense. Let's hear your revised statement. How could they... Okay, fine. I'm gonna assume the first person left the printer on. This is my second case, not my first. 2 months ago, I ran into this exact issue, the possibility of someone accessing something without leaving a trace, even though there normally would be a log. Oh, I remember, you don't mean... Yes, it's just like back then, with the clubroom access records. Get to the point. If you can say something in one sentence, do so instead of wasting the court's time. Save you dang Mosermouth. When we had our case about the last spread... Oh, great, this picture again. Emerson entered the clubroom and never left an entry, even though the clubroom's door handles keep track of everyone who enters. That was because Kazumi-chan happened to exit the room at the same time, thus Emerson could have the same club could enter the same club room without anyone else knowing. And so, it is in the defense's belief that the same thing has happened here. With printers though, how? Two people use the printer with only one entry. The defense believes this warrants further investigation. Don't you agree? Please. Yes, the court agrees. We don't have enough information to make a ruling yet. Yes. Oh no. No. No? The printer in the question shuts off after 1 minute of idle time. That fact was submitted alongside the printer records. If what the defense is saying is true, that means that someone had to have either used the printer 1 minute before the defendant did, or 1 minute after the defendant finished. However, there are no known club members who even began to approach the printing room around the relevant time, let alone within 1 minute of the defendant. Ugh, no way. Well, what now? I'm not sure where to go from here. Don't worry, Yu-chan. I'm here to help. Eh? I've been working hard too. I want to provide my assistance wherever possible. While you were bantering with Dia-san, I studied the printer's specs again, and I found out that... Defense, what the hell is your aide giggling about? If you have something to say, share it with the court. Your Honor, we've got a new development that I think everyone needs to hear. What is it? According to the printer specs that Ayumu here just provided from the internet, 1 minute is only the default time that the printer is set to shut off after. But say that the time was changed to 5 or even 10 minutes. That would be enough time for some unknown to have come and gone within that huge 15-minute interval. Stop speaking English. Why was you speaking Japanese? Defense, you're putting me to sleep with how amateurish your performance is. You can't be serious. She's covered for this too? Don't estimate me. Do you think I haven't accounted for the situation? I've prepared for all sorts in this universe and beyond. That's the Kurosawa way. I've already prepared a witness that can testify about this exact subject. No way! Great, okay, at least we forced the first witness. Order, order. Oh my, looks like this wasn't enough. Sorry, Yu-chan. It wasn't enough. Am I ever gonna get to have a leg up on her? This is ridiculous. The witness is already in the waiting lobby. She's ready to go at a moment's notice. The prosecution calls Mifune Shiriko-san to the witness stand. Very well. Bailiff, bring the next witness to the stand. They have a bailiff too. They already treating this like a court. Okay, this woman. Witness, name and occupation, please. My name is Mifune Shiriko-san. I am the student council president and a member of the school idol club. Occasionally, I also volunteer at the children's center nearby, if that counts. Thank you. You were called upon due to your familiarity with the printers in the printing room. Do you have experience with the large white printer with the vinyl function? I do. What about it? We request that you testify about the printer's automatic turn-off feature. The defense believes that the time limit was set higher than the default time limit of 1 minute. You are aware of the true time limit that it was set to, correct? Indeed. I'll get right on that. Please be right. Please be like longer than a minute. But I have something important to bring up first. The maintenance workers of the school just handed me something that's probably very important to this case. And what would that be? The tickets? Please be the tickets. The tickets! Oh my god! You! Here! Uh, uh? I'm sorry. What are those supposed to be? I can't read the text on those tiny things from over here. It's the VIP tickets. We found them under the printer. Wait, what? You found them? Goodness, even Tia-san didn't see that one coming. Well, this is an unexpected development. I'd like to ask, the tickets have the timestamp on them, correct? What time did the tickets say they were printed? According to the tickets, they were printed at 4:15 p.m. Aha! 8 hours right after all. That falls within the 15-minute interval that the defendant was in the printing room. Like I said it would. Okay, cool. We have new evidence. Again, found here under the printer can only be printed by club members at the printing room will print at 4:15 p.m. on the day of the club. Thank you. Another hurdle to try to overcome. Just my luck. In light of this development, please testify about the tickets and where you found them, in addition to the time of setting on the printer. Understood. Okay, here we go. The tickets were found wedged underneath the large white printer in question. I believe nobody would ever have been able to identify them. Wait, I just realized the music stopped. Why the music stopped is the problem. Oh. I don't know why it looks soft. I don't know why it went soft. The tickets were found wedged underneath the large white printer in question. I believe nobody would ever have been able to find them. If it hadn't been for the fact that the printer was suffering mechanical issues, the maintenance team unbolted the printer for repairs and found the tickets there. But wait, they did this before I went to investigate this yesterday. Why didn't they tell me? The defendant must not have wanted to bring the tickets back to the practice. It looked like she wanted to hide them in the printing room and come back for them later, but was unable to get them out. As for the timestamp on the printer, I confirmed they were left on the default 1 minute before shutting off. I can tell you one thing, 1 minute is too small of a time frame for Karen-san to not have noticed anyone else around the printing room and be able to share a printing session with them. Just great. So, can you elaborate on the last part? Allow me to summarize the point. During questioning, the defendant had said that she never saw anyone coming from or going to the printing room. 1 minute's time is not enough for any potential second person to get far enough away from the printing room for her not to have noticed. If the so-called second person had any more time to get further away, the two of them would not have been able to share a printing session as the printer would have shut off between them. The printer records would then be showing two entries, therefore the only explanation is that there never was a second person. That seems to make sense to me. How about you, defense? Are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Actually, I've got a question. The printer record stated the printer was turned on at 4:10. If it shuts off after 1 minute, how could the culprit stall until 4:15 to print it? Wouldn't it have shut off? Wouldn't it have shut itself off? I feel that she's gonna bring up the fact that she also printed her homework, and maybe she's like, oh, she printed her homework first, and then she did the tickets. So that's really what happened. The printer has a special quirk about it. If a flash drive is plugged into it, the printer takes much longer to shut off. I suppose that's because it thinks that you have a job for it to do, so it holds off on shutting down. Let me reiterate that the defendant is known to have brought a flash drive to the printing room. Not to mention, when the defendant was done with the printer, she must have taken a flash drive with her, meaning the printer would be back to its default 1 minute before shutting off. That means the defendant could have stalled within her printing activity, but not between hers and anyone else's. My odds are looking more terrible than ever. Please, I sure hope I can turn up some useful results here. Please. Okay, let's see. Okay, so underneath the printer. Okay, what issues of the printer suffering? If I recall correctly, that's because of the crease that the printer has been leaving on things it prints out, right? That's right. The printer's been having that issue for a while now. Naturally, the maintenance crew had to unbolt the printer from the table to perform repairs, and that's when they found the tickets. Part of me is glad the tickets were found, and another part of me wishes they weren't. It's just another piece of evidence against us. The defendant must have not wanted to bring the tickets back to practice. Hmm. Wait, why would she bring them back to practice if she could go back to put them in her bag? What makes you say that? Doesn't it make sense? If you see break a rule knowingly, you'd want to keep that fact hidden. I feel that it's just natural she tried to hide the VIP ticket somewhere before returning to practice. The defendant was in her idle outfit at the time. Without revealing it is and its lack of pockets, it wasn't feasible for her to hide the tickets on her person. Isn't that the same thing Aichan said yesterday? It is. Aichan also said that the motions of practicing would have caused the tickets to fall out if Karen had tried to hide them in her clothes. Yeah, but like she went back to the club the club room, so wouldn't she just have put it in a bag? If Karen really did print those tickets, I don't doubt she would have wanted to hide them somehow. I'm so scared of like pretending right now. No one. Okay, you know what? YOLO. Where is the? She was there twice. She could have hidden them in the club room. Yes, okay, I'm correct. I'm right. That doesn't make sense. Why is that? Well, let's take a look at the club room access records. According to what we've talked about so far, the defendant went to the printing room between the two times she went to the club room. That is between 4:05 and 4:20 p.m. The printer was accessed at 4:10 p.m. and the defendant dropped the homework off in a bag in the club room afterwards. So tell me, if you printed the tickets, why wouldn't she have just dropped them off in the club room? That's a good point. Man, you fool. The obvious reason is because she didn't want to run the risk of bumping into anyone in the hallways or in the club room. Nah, nah, nah. And how do you know that? Do you have any proof of that? Naturally, it was break time. People always come and go during it. The defendant must have known this. It's a constant of life and it's a constant of life, just like death and taxes. What on earth are you talking about? This time was no different. Several club members took a trip to the restroom. It's likely the defendant assumed this and didn't want to take any chances. Yes, that's the opening. I've been searching for this whole time. This whole trial. If that's the case, why haven't these members been questioned? Are you even listening to me? I said restroom. The restroom is nowhere near the printing room. I've already said that the defendant was the only one who headed towards the printing room. If you want to imply that one of the other club members headed towards the printing room, then prove it. She's right. I've got to justify my stance. What's the plan, you John? Well, I've got to produce some evidence to prove that someone else went to the printing room. It's my only chance. That's not your only option. You've also got testimony. Huh? You mean like calling in a witness? Defense, let's hear what your decision is. What will you do to prove that somebody else went towards the printing room? I got testimony. Who am I gonna call? I like to call a witness, Your Honor. Let's see. I better avoid calling in a judge. She's been thoroughly prepared by Dia-san. The witness testimony will show that there must have been another culprit. Who am I gonna call? Am I gonna have to call? Actually, show me the evidence again. I'm curious. Okay. Am I gonna have to call? Am I gonna call I? Am I gonna have to call I? I have a feeling I might have to call I. No, let's call I. Defendant called Miyashita I to the stand. Can you clarify why? Yesterday, upon talking to her, she had said that she had gone to the restroom alongside a few others. Although she made no implication that she or anyone else had headed towards the printing room, the defense would like the opportunity to confirm it if this is true. Please? There are still many unanswered questions in this case, that much is for certain. The court believes that it has a duty to clear up any remaining uncertainties whenever possible. That includes hearing all relevant testimony. Looks like you'll get to survive a little while longer. Savor it. It won't last long. I can guarantee you this. You may have reduced our smoking gun into a smoking pile of ashes, but this is just the beginning. I'm about to pull out the heavy artillery. Mark my words. Oh, hush you. The defense shall be granted the opportunity to cross-examine Miyashita I, but before that, court shall take a recess. We reconvene in 30 minutes. Adjourned. Okay, we love for now. We still get to love. Okay, I'm still in the game. That's a good sign. Where's Karen-san? I've got a few questions for her too. You called for me? What's the matter? Karen-san, I've got a question for you. Real quick, can you tell us what your emotions were like between 4:05 and 4:20 p.m. between the two times you went to the club room? After I grabbed my flash drive from the club room, I didn't go directly to the printing room. You know how the hallways there are in a big loop? I kinda took a stroll around the entire hallway. Huh? Why? Well, I didn't bring my map with me that day, see? I must have gotten lost along the way. The printing room is 5 meters from the club room. Oops. I really did have no clue there where I was. I was taking my sweet time checking out every room to make sure I didn't miss it. Well, the reason explains the time gap. I assume that means the person who printed the tickets went to the printing room before you did. Oh, yeah, I remember. The printer was already on when I used it. It must have just finished before being used, but like the prosecutor said, I didn't see anyone in or around the printing room. Strange, almost as if they had disappeared. If the printer had just finished printing something, was there anything notable in the output tray? Nothing that I can remember. Sorry about that. I suppose the tickets had already been hidden by the time I got there. Thank you. Hopefully the information comes in handy down the line. Michan, do you think you can turn the case around with what Karen-san told you? To be honest, I'm not sure. Our next task will be to show that someone else went into the printing room. I don't think any of that helps directly except for the time frame. You think so? Well, we'll have to see. But I'll definitely keep that in mind. 3 things to remember. First, Karen-san arrived to the printing room later than expected because she went around the whole entire hall. Second, when Karen-san arrived, the printer was already on. Third, the tickets weren't in the output tray and were already gone by the time Karen-san got there. But how could someone have possibly done all that and vanished without a trace? I think that the printer could stay on because because that someone put maybe a flash drive in it and it stayed on because that's what we learned about the printer. Okay, well, that's gonna wrap up this episode of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had fun. It was kind of fun. Just like it's a bit easier than the first episodes, like solving stuff. But I'm still in the beginning of solving the thing stuff. So this is probably gonna get harder and harder as we continue. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and comment and like and comment because like it then tells me that you guys like this because I'm enjoying it and I want to make sure that you guys also enjoy it. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Goodbye.